Hello and welcome to the
Okay, sorry. I'm just gonna start this possum.
yeah. Hello and welcome to issue 3 of ComiCentric. Thank you for joining us. Again, we are here with our good friend Peter Mellini, and joining us today is our official, getting paid intern, Mary. Mary came to us out of nowhere, really, and has been a part of this crew for quite some time. Today, we're going to be discussing with her the gap between our generations because she is way younger than us, but she's still into comics. So we'll see if we can get her side of the story, and see what her secret origin is. And like always, I am your host, Enrique Cruz, Cruz for short. So join us as we dive into our subject in the next segment.
There we go.
There we go. All right, starting the segment off. Again, I'm here with Pete. I say hello, Pete.
Hello.
And like I said, our very special guest today, Mary.
Hi.
How are you doing today?
Good.
So Mary has been with us for quite some time now. She came and never left. But I'll let you tell her about that. So, Mary, before we start, tell me a little bit about you.
Where do I begin? I was born in the forest. I'm just kidding. My name is Monty. Grew up in East LA.
Whoop whoop.
I like comic books. I like Power Rangers.
Hmm?
I like to occasionally dabble in drawing.
Hey, not bad.
I like to eat, especially McDonald's.
Yes.
Yes. There are
Alright.
more facets, but those are like the jumping points.
Okay,
Yeah.
these are definitely big catalysts for you. So, you say you like comic books. Do you mind if we get your secret origin on that?
I guess.
Like,
I don't
where
even,
did you start?
like comic books or comic book culture? Because
Oh,
I feel
it's-
like there's different parts of my life.
Okay. Well, comic books. Let's start with comic books, and we'll go to the culture.
Okay, comic books. See, I can't remember like reading a comic book until I was older, but I grew up with my mom's younger brother who was super into like He-Man and Spawn, and he had Spawn comics in the house.
Oh.
And we would watch the Spawn show. So I feel like my earliest like
The
comic book
Spawn show, like the HBO Spawn show?
Yes.
Oh.
So like my earliest memories of like comics is probably like Image.
Oh, cool.
So, which is weird, but I feel like it's very 90s and like
You're a 90s kid, though, right?
like I see pictures in it because me and him are only like maybe 10 years apart, so
Okay.
we're closer in age. So he was like 13 and I was like a little kid, but I would be there in the house, so I'd be like watching and reading. And he had like those creepy, like the gory Spawn toys.
Yeah.
Like I just remember seeing like chains in the blood and being like, "What is this?"
Those were so cool.
Yeah, they were, and he would be like, "Don't touch those."
No, I would hit you. You would touch mine.
And then as I got a little older,
Hmm.
me and my dad my dad is a geek, so he watched X-Men the animated series, and
Whoa,
we watched that as a
your
family.
Dad was a geek?
Yes. Okay, so
You come from a geeky family?
yes, this has nothing to do with comic books, but when I was a baby,
Mhm.
I don't think I was 2 yet. There was always this box on top of the washing machine, and I was basically like Tommy Pickles. So
Yeah.
one time I climbed on top because we had like the standing where it was the washer and dryer on top.
Mhm.
I climbed up there and I took the box down, and I remember seeing a red thing and I thought it was candy, so I put it in my mouth and I was choking. It was a D20 from a D&D set.
Wait, your dad's D&D?
Yeah, my dad played D&D. He's in the 80s. So he was a jock, he was on the football team, but he was also like a fucking nerd.
What?
So we had D&D in the house since I was a baby, and I choked on a D20.
Was he a primary football guy or primary?
My dad
nerd?
likes to say he was defender of the geeks. So he would beat up other people who picked on the geeks.
Oh, that was me.
Yeah, so
I love
like
that.
I love my dad. So
Yeah, I love your dad
people
already.
would be like, "Oh, like why is that nerd reading this?" And my dad would be like, "What? Let him read it."
Yeah.
So yeah, like
Yeah.
it's very ingrained in my.
That's neat. I love that. I didn't even know about that about you, but I love that.
But yeah, and then I never put a D20 in my mouth again.
For good measure.
Yes.
You roll that critical.
Yeah.
Oh boy. So I mean that's your background. That's you're basically it's in your DNA at that point, no?
Yeah, I guess the first comics I do remember like looking through was Batman, because we grew up with like Tim Burton Batman.
Uh-huh.
Me and my dad's youngest siblings, because we're the same age, and one of them, it's Luis Maggie. So it's me and Luis are both 30 now.
Okay.
And then Maggie's 2 years younger. So we were always together. And there's literally pictures of us as little kids, and we're like Batman characters. And we would have sleepovers all the time, and we would just be watching Batman Returns, and we were obsessed with Batman, and we would read Batman comics. They weren't mine, they were his, but like I would flip through them.
Yeah.
So I think that was in between the like 4-year-old to like 8-year-old range, where it was like Batman.
But you had those comics, you had them in your hand,
Yes.
right? So that's your origin.
So I guess it started with Batman, but there was a lot of Spawn and X-Men mixed in there.
So you read all the cool books,
I guess.
the trendy cool books of the time.
Yeah, but to me, like, I didn't even know it wasn't like a normal thing because it was so like
Normal for you.
yeah, normal for me as being a 90s kid, and
Mhm.
also with my mom and dad being who they were. Like, it was just like
Wait, your mom and dad? Did your mom read comics too? Or
my mom wasn't a comic reader. My mom is like Tim Burton gothy, Lord of the Rings fantasy person. So it's like I have the comic book anime side, which is my dad, and then I
Mhm.
have like the gothy punk rock, everything else like Tim Burton and dark and poetry and Edward Gorey and like that stuff from my mom.
that's
And they made me.
then wow, that's like perfect baking right there.
Yeah.
That's interesting. So
Yeah.
that's how you got. But what about you? When did you start personally collecting the books?
So like I really the books wasn't until later. For me, it was the shows because I grew up when all the shows were a thing.
The cartoons and
So
all
the
that?
shows, but I do remember, and it's funny because this is gonna go like in a weird full circle.
Oh.
When I was in elementary school, I think I was a kid. I walked into a place called Madman Comics.
Madman?
Was it Madman?
Oh,
Madhouse.
Madhouse Comics.
Yeah.
Over there in like Montebello.
Mm-hmm.
And I was just like, oh my god, this place is so cool. And like, you know, I was a kid. I couldn't like tell my parents where to take me, and it kind of just like became one of those things where it was like a memory that got washed out because I was a kid, and it was like we had like 1,000 thoughts a minute, and it just washed away. But then once I realized it when I got a little older, I went looking for it, and it was gone. And like I always chased that high of finding the comic book store, and I didn't get another comic book store of my like own until high school.
And where was that?
It was called Comic City.
Oh.
Yes, that was the local comic store, and there's a lot of like history there. But
Yes. Yes. A lot of history there. That's a whole other subject.
yeah, that's another subject. But I will say that I think I was hanging out with like people, and like yeah, we were friends, but I always felt like you know they were into different things than me.
Mm-hmm.
Like we would have sleepovers after parties, and they'd be like sleeping in, and I'd be like, oh shit, Saturday morning cartoons. I gotta like get up early and watch these.
Mm-hmm.
And I think once I met my friend like Danny is when everything really shifted. So we met in physics, which I almost failed, but comics saved me. I will get to that story.
Ooh.
Comics saved my high school, like yes.
Like physics or like high school?
The subject of physics.
Oh.
So I walked into this class, and like there was this like nerdy boy with long curly hair, and like he was just sitting there, and I sat next to him, and he was like, you know, doodling, and I was like, oh, that's so cool, like you doodle, I doodle. Try to be his friend. And like I was sat next to him, and he would always like kind of be weirded out and be like what do you want? Why are you talking to me? But like I developed a crush on him, so I would be like, oh hey, like you know, try to talk to him, and then I kind of mentioned like, oh I like this and that, and he'd be like, oh you like this? No, you gotta do this and read this.
Whoa.
So we started becoming better friends, and he was in speech and debate, so I was like, oh that sounds cool, like I'm gonna join speech and debate. And oh my god, once I joined that, I was surrounded by nerds.
Whoa, yeah.
And
what did you expect?
I don't know what I expected, honestly. Like I had been on the soccer team and like other stuff, and then I was just like, well no, I'm in speech and debate, like I'm gonna do a complete flip. So he was like, oh have you read Watchmen? And I was like, no. He was like, you should. And he let me Watchmen, and I was like, whoa, oh my god, like this is so cool.
Wow.
Do you have more? He's like, yeah, come to my house. He has
That's
like
a
whole fucking library of trades, and like he was like, yeah, if you want to like borrow some. And I was like, yes, I do.
Yeah, let's go to his house later.
Yes. So you know, he lent me books. He introduced me to my favorite trade or series, which is Earth X.
Ooh.
I would carry that with me everywhere after I read it. I was like addicted to it. But yeah, he introduced me like he took me to Meltdown to meet Grant Morrison, and like he deep dived me into a lot of what I like now.
Okay.
Like he would be like, "Here, listen to the new Gorilla CD while you're playing Silent Hill. Oh, and here's the new like Alan Moore book that I picked up today."
Wow.
Like it was the best, and I thank him so much because like
Molded you basically.
yeah,
right?
he did, yes.
That's
He was a huge influence in my geek life, and I thank him every day for it. He's like a professor now.
a professor of comics.
No,
That'd be
I
awesome.
forget what it is exactly, but yes, he's one of my favorite nerds.
Yeah.
He's basically the mad scientist that created me.
Thank you for that. Well, that's interesting.
Yes, very interesting.
Yeah. So I mean, you were in Comic City. How long were you there?
I mean, I think I started going there in like 11th grade.
Uh-huh.
So I was there for 11th or 12th grade. I think 11th grade.
So like a good year.
So like that's when I started, but I kept going for a couple years.
Oh.
Yeah, so it was years.
And you would pick up books on the regular.
Oh, for the most part, yeah. But I was also a broke ass college student, so
Of course.
it would be like when I could get stuff. But I did buy my Scott Pilgrim, like the number 6.
Mhm.
I remember being super excited and being like, "Oh my god, number 6 is coming out! I need to go pick it up." And I went and I picked it up, and I was like, "Oh my god!" And like we all went to go see the movie when they did the screening and stuff. So yeah,
That's good. That's fun. I like that. So that's your secret origin, huh?
I guess I feel like those are like the main ingredients, and then there's all these spices that could go on forever.
Oh, I mean, okay, here's my next one. I guess we can go into this one. How did you start working at the store?
He gave me a job.
Well, that's a simple version.
Yeah, okay.
But
so I guess other small world. Why is everything so small? Damn.
I don't know.
So once upon a time, I joined this app called Instagram.
Uh-huh.
And I think you followed me when I first started it. Like we secretly knew each other a long time ago, but I didn't know it was you.
Oh.
You and Patrick.
Back then I just followed everybody.
Yeah,
and
so
anything.
Patrick followed me and we would just talk toys because he like was super into toys and he used to post pictures of his toys.
Yeah.
Then he stopped. But like he introduced me to Pete.
I think so.
I can't remember if it was the toy drive we did first or if it was
no.
I think we did a toy drive 1st. So I like work with this charity called Kids Can Cosplay. So we dress up as like characters and we do visits in hospitals and all that.
You're famously a Yellow Ranger.
Yes,
just so I can
Yellow
point that out. I love that.
Insert picture here. But Pete was doing a Christmas drive for the store, and we did it. And then ever since then, we do it every year.
I do remember that you guys had a Ninja Turtle there.
Yes, we did have a Ninja Turtle there.
I'm sorry, but that was the awesome Ninja Turtle.
It was. But yeah, so we did that, and then me and Pete became friends, and then you guys like came up with East LA Comic-Con and all that madness. And then I don't know how I started working here. Was it COVID?
Yeah.
Oh, no. COVID. I had no job. So me and Pete were already friends, but he was just like, "Well, you could come help me at the store," and he needed all that help.
No, he really did, and yeah, that's why you've since then you've been pretty much a staple
and now
here.
We're in the bigger store, and it's been me, you, and Pete, and Joanna.
Yeah,
heavy lifting.
That's all we could do.
Yeah, but being here with Pete is like a life lesson. It's not okay. That's not what I meant.
Wow.
No, listening to Pete is like reading an encyclopedia of pop culture.
Yes.
I feel like I've learned so much.
Yes.
And I feel like now when I talk, it's a little offshoot of like Pete talking. But like I have picked up so much random crap that is probably not important unless I'm in like a Slumdog Millionaire situation. And they're just like, "Who's Granny Goodness?" And I'm just like, "Oh my god."
I know, it's Ed Asner.
Yeah, or if they're like, "Name 5 comic book writers," and I'm just like, "Oh shit, okay."
You got it lock, stock, and ready to go.
Yeah, unless I'm sleepy.
Okay.
But yeah, so ever since then I've been here on and off. I love being here. It's like my second home.
No, yeah, you've been doing some excellent work here.
For the record, we have one couch right now. I'm trying to get a second couch. So we'll see how this ages.
I mean, we have the room for it now, I guess.
We do. So bunk beds, I'm saying,
Think about
like stepbrothers, we have so much room for activities.
Because think about it, this couch barely fit in the old store.
Yeah. Trying to think of the old store to now is like, I can't even. Yeah.
And that was only, 2 years ago?
Yeah. A lot has changed since then.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right. Well, that was Mary's secret origin.
Yes. Condensed.
Condensed.
That was like the condensed cranberry juice.
Yeah, that's just your comic side because you got like so many other sides. Like you said, you're into cosplay, you're into
Cosplay,
drawing.
theater, drawing,
Yeah.
marketing,
Yeah.
YouTube.
You've been working with our Instagram, the nostalgic Instagram.
Yes,
you
I
know?
do the graphic design.
Yeah.
I took over from Pete
And that's all
for the most part.
Well, he doesn't know what he's doing.
I mean, okay, so
But he's trying.
Okay.
And I guess that's what matters, right?
Yes. So I actually went to college for graphic design.
Oh, cool.
Didn't finish and dropped out.
Okay.
So I do know what I'm doing.
Okay.
No shade on Pete. But I'm glad I didn't like pursue it as a career, so I'm glad I get to use it because I love doing it.
Yeah.
Pete knows how anal I am about fonts.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Fonts.
I'm trying to think where we left off. So yeah, do graphic design.
You got the origin stories.
Origin stories.
Mhm.
So, what's next?
I don't know. Oh, the whole gap thing, right?
Oh,
That's
right.
all-
Yeah.
That's the theme of the episode.
Yeah. All right. Now I guess onto the subject. I mean, we're definitely about 10 years apart.
I was a 90s elementary school kid and you were a 90s
High school kid.
teenager.
Yeah.
I looked up to you guys so much.
Why?
Not you particularly,
Yeah.
but like in general. Because I grew up right next to Garfield, so I
Right.
would see all the cool ass teenagers
In their flannels.
with their Nirvana shirts and their
Yeah.
flannels and their mohawks.
I'm sorry. You were inspired by the wrong kind of
I
people.
know. That wasn't us at all.
That was not us at all.
Was it just Joanna? I saw Joanna walking.
Yeah. Well, I mean, you were talking about you were reading Watchmen at one point at a very young age. I didn't read Watchmen until I was like, past high school.
Mhm.
You know, I didn't read some of those hardcore books like that until afterwards. Besides your professor of chaos that led you into these things, were you reading anything that deep at that age?
Yes. So I forgot to mention our favorite teacher. I had an English teacher called Mr. Levy, and he taught English and art history. And in art history, we had to study Alex Ross.
Wow.
So we literally studied like and graphic novels. We studied all that.
So again, Earth X, you love that book. Is that another reason?
Oh, I wrote like a whole report about it.
Oh.
Because we had to like compare it to like real world events or like artsy. Like we just got deep about superheroes.
Oh wow.
And he gave me such
That's
an
interesting.
appreciation.
Yeah, where was
for the
this?
art
Where
form.
was this class when I was there?
He might have been a teacher there. I don't know.
10 years ago? No, I don't remember any
No.
teacher teaching anything
My-
about art.
Senior year English teacher was a novelist,
Okay.
and he was like, "Comics are real, mature,"
Yeah.
and I'm like, "There's some cool stuff."
Fuck you.
Yeah, like,
Our assigned reading from the state, I think, for ninth graders was Mouse and Safe Area, Garagda, and some other graphic novels, and I have them still
Wow.
from school. Like they have the Garfield stamp. But yeah, I kept them. So like I was super. I think that's where my obsession with like graphic, just line black and white drawing came in.
Yeah.
Because I was reading that in
Mhm.
ninth grade.
Art Spiegelman is a
and we
master.
had to read Persepolis.
Oh, awesome.
Yeah, so all of that was art. We had to read it.
You know what's funny? I just had a friend that tells me that her daughter, who's just turning to teenager, is reading Mouse and has read Mouse.
Yeah.
And
well, it's on the news right now.
of the whole.
They're banning it and a bunch of different.
Right, I
yeah.
forgot about that. Yeah.
But I always liked the things that were deeper and were above my reading level. Because, like, in first grade, I was reading all the Goosebumps. And I started a Goosebumps fan club.
In first grade?
Well, I was reading in second grade. We started the fan club officially. And our principal found out and he bought us all the books for our class.
Oh.
And I met R.L. Stein. And it was, like, one of the best moments of my life.
Wait, R.L. Stein is real?
Yes, he's very much real. I met him. So my mom is a book nerd. She took me every year to the Festival of Books, the LA Time Festival of Books.
The Bookcella?
Yes, Bookcella. Is that what you were doing? That's Bookcella?
That's
Okay.
Bookcella.
We
Yeah.
were talking about it earlier. But yeah, I always went to Bookcella since I was like a little kid.
Oh.
That's where I first picked up my Edward Gorey books.
Wow.
When I was a kid. Like my mom would read me those. But
So you actually read real books too?
yeah, my parents were very like, you have to read. So when I was in preschool, I was already reading, which is why I got kicked out of preschool.
For reading?
So I was in preschool. I was already reading. I was bored, so I turned into a troublemaker. There was a park next to the preschool, and one day I walked out and I went to the park, and it was a huge thing. And my parents were like, they basically took me out so it wouldn't be on my record of me being a troublemaker. I say, why didn't they sue? I could have got kidnapped. I went to the park by myself.
That has nothing to do with reading.
No, the thing is, I was too ahead of the other
Yeah,
kids that were still
no.
learning, like, freaking, this is a turkey.
Oh,
For the turkey.
I thought it was because you saw the sign and told you how to open the gate.
Yeah. So, like, I love Dr. Seuss, and, like, I always loved documentaries. So I think the fact that I grew up watching documentaries and reading at a very early age influenced a lot.
So, I mean, yeah, that makes a lot of sense now. We get along because you're very versatile when it comes to these books, these writers and stuff like that. So that you fit in just fine here, and now I
Mhm.
figured it out. That's why.
I think the misconception people have is that, like, comic books is like, oh, it's a superhero and they're gonna save the world. When in reality, they're like freaking soap operas, or they're so deep,
Yeah.
and they're like freaking Freud novels.
They have like inferiority complexes.
Yes,
They
like,
can't figure it
they're
out.
so deep.
They
and
have anxieties.
They can pull off things that, like, sometimes you can't really pull off in a novel.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Like, for example, Superman is always listening to Lois Lane's heart.
Yeah.
Why? Because he's afraid something's
He's
gonna
gonna
happen
die,
to her.
yeah.
Which makes me sad because, like, when she gets older and it slows, it's like a ticking clock for him.
Yeah.
It's like the Raven. He's just gonna be waiting for it to go out one day.
Yeah, that's sad because
Like,
he's gonna live forever.
In the Superman, the original movie, the Christopher Reeve movie,
Uh-huh.
they always say like a cute what do you call it, scene, but it's kind of disturbing when they first meet,
Uh-huh.
and then she's smoking, and he tells her you shouldn't smoke, and she's like, oh, lung cancer.
X-ray.
And he turns around, and he's like, well, luckily not yet.
Yeah.
And it's kind of creepy.
Yeah.
He X-rays her through lingerie and then takes her up to go fly.
Yeah.
It's pretty, yeah.
Excellent first date.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Just saying. But I mean, the movies, like, you obviously grew up with a big point where the movies started becoming super trendy,
Okay,
super fast.
This is where our generational gap will come in,
Uh-huh.
I guess, because when I was in 10th grade, I
Uh-huh.
believe 10th grade, going to 11th grade or whatever, Iron Man 1 came out.
Okay.
So that was my first, like, Marvel movie, I think, right?
It was a lot of people's first
Yeah,
That
Marvel
was
movie.
the first, like, of our current MCU.
Uh-huh.
And I remember already, like, being super into superheroes.
Mhm.
So
But how much you knew of Iron Man at the time?
I had already been, I think my timeline is mixed up, but I had already been reading all the stuff
Okay.
and, like, been friends with those nerds. So I guess it was all, let's just say 11th grade. That's when the Big Bang hit.
Okay.
But I remember I was gonna go see the movie at what's now what is that place in Mixopolis or Sinopolis?
Cineopolis?
Before it was some
Mhm.
other movie theater, but I wanted an Iron Man shirt and I couldn't find one anywhere except like a size 6'7" in the boys section of Target. So I wore it. I fit into it.
Okay.
And I felt so cool because I was like, I have an Iron Man shirt. I mean, now thinking about it, I'm like, oh man.
Yeah, it's okay. So when you were 11th grade, we were in.
We were in the galaxy.
Oh, so that was 2000.
No,
Comics Galaxy.
I think it was past galaxy.
I would say
Well, you
so.
were in your 20s, right?
Yeah.
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 So I was like 15, 16. You guys were in your 20s. But you guys had gone longer without mainstream culture.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Mine was, I guess, not as long because right when I got super into it, we got the movie right after that.
Mm-hmm.
But I will say that I have the text messages still and I, like, posted them when the movies came out. But I remember when we got super into comics, me and my friends were like, oh yeah, they did Iron Man, but, like, they'll never do Civil War.
No.
Like, oh, we can dream about that. And then, like, freaking Civil War comes on. Now we're diving into such obscure comics.
Now we're getting stuff that came out 5-10
Yeah.
years ago.
Yeah.
Like, it's
Yeah.
just insane, the shift that's
I-
fast forwarded.
I remember going to the Comic-Con panel when they announced what would be the MCU,
Yeah.
and it was like Kevin Feige and Edgar Wright.
Fucking Kevin
Because
Feige.
Edgar Wright was going to do Ant-Man as the first movie.
Yeah.
And I was like, that's crazy. And then they were talking about it, and someone asked, well, you own these characters. Are you doing Avengers? He's like, maybe.
So I was at WonderCon when they did the Joss Whedon, like, Avengers.
Oh, yeah.
The drop of the trailer and, like, all of that. And I was just like, is this real life?
Yeah.
But for me, it hadn't even been that long. I can
Mhm.
only imagine how you guys felt.
We had nothing.
Yeah.
Yeah, like, you guys literally had nothing.
Well,
Our Captain America was like 20 years old. You know?
so we used to go to every Marvel movie,
Mhm.
including like Elektra and all that crap,
Yeah.
because if we always felt like we don't support this,
Yeah.
we're not getting another one.
Okay, so you guys laid the groundwork so that I could have what I have
Right.
now,
You damn right.
which is
'cause
like Moon Knight that came
Yeah.
out.
we weren't first in line, but we were at least third in line.
Yes.
You know, we
I
would.
appreciate you guys doing the heavy lifting.
Because literally, we get maybe one every 2-3
2,
years.
3 years, yeah.
Yeah.
Well, how many are there actually? Like Punisher, Elektra.
Punisher, Lecture,
Daredevil.
Daredevil.
Oh, the X-Men movies.
Mhm.
Uh,
And those were like really far apart. They're like 5 years apart. I mean,
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, I will say I loved the X-Men movies when they came
Mhm.
out, but we didn't have much to compare it to.
Yeah.
But they're still like they still hold up to me. I
Mhm.
don't care. They're still fun. I love that.
This is gonna date us. We had to figure out
Mhm.
how to open the website to watch the X-Men trailer.
a trailer.
We're like, what is this? Right?
That's so funny.
Internet?
Yeah.
Oh, man.
And it took forever to load. We were like,
Buffering. Yeah.
I mean, it's crazy because like even me, I feel like I went through a condensed fast forward version of you guys being
Mhm.
like, they'll never do this.
Yeah.
Mhm.
And now like we're all living in a world where you could go to any Target, any
Yeah.
Walgreens, and there's like a Moon Knight figure
Mhm.
and
Yeah.
like
I
a
thought-
Spider-Man backpack.
As I always tell Cruz, it's so strange I live in a world where my mom's cousin, was an older lady, knows who Thanos is.
Yeah, like
You know?
Thanos is literally a household name.
Yeah.
Like when basically most of the Avengers are just like known by everyone.
Yeah.
Like it's definitely been a very interesting direction our lives have put us into.
Yeah.
There's still some things that are like I feel like I like that are not as mainstream.
Mhm.
I would like them to be because I want more
Mhm.
merch, but
Like we talk about, like one of our favorite books, crossover.
oh yes.
They're never gonna make a movie out of that. They can't.
That's what we say now, but check back in with us in like 10 years.
Too many licensing
There's
rights.
too many licensing.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
no way.
But you never know.
Yeah, Image might be like, this is the contract. Go.
Maybe.
Yeah.
Yeah. But also, like, I think our generations are very different in the sense of, like, anime has played a way bigger impact in my life than
Uh-huh.
probably your guys. Because, like, we all had Toonami
Mhm.
and, like, the basics. But as I grew up, like, I had a lot
Mhm.
more, like, there was a lot more established anime conventions and, like, shows. And,
Yeah.
like, I grew up as a kid with, like, Digimon, Pokemon, where all that anime that I didn't even know was anime at the time, but, like, it was on Fox Kids and Saturday morning cartoons and all that. I don't even know if you guys had that. Did you?
Fox Kids, yeah.
Mhm.
We started Fox Kids.
Okay. See, I don't even
That was
know.
Batman animated series, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's not anime.
No, but that's what it started.
Oh,
yeah.
okay, yeah. But like, yeah. So when I was little, like elementary, like a little kid, I literally was like with Power Rangers, which is Tokusatsu, very Japanese,
Yeah.
like all of that live action.
Super Sentai.
And then I had like Tokyo Mew Mew, which I didn't know was
Oh.
anime. I just thought it was cute.
Yeah.
And like Sailor Moon and like all of that as I got older played a huge role in like
Love
the
me some
fact
Sailor.
that I love that kind
I'm
of
gonna tell you
stuff.
something. Sailor Moon is responsible for my sexual awakening, and that's all I'm gonna say about anything.
I have talked to many people.
Yeah.
And I don't know what kind of response you're gonna get on this, but like Tokyo Mew Mew was an awakening for all kinds of people.
Whoa.
I don't know if you guys are familiar with it, and
Yeah.
they're bringing it back. Like they're doing it again.
Yeah.
But yeah, so that's probably like Digimon was a huge thing for me and my friends and ours
Uh-huh.
like generation. But I feel like you guys didn't really care about that. Like,
No, I did. I had the Digimon,
Okay,
Digivice,
see, Chris is
you
cool.
know.
But was it as big as like all the other things?
No, because towards that part, I think everything like the cartoon wise, I was dying a little.
Yeah.
You know, towards it for me, I was definitely more into the upper animes, your
No,
Outlaw
yeah.
Stars, your Cowboy Bebops, and stuff like that. So I was kind of leaving like Digimon and all that stuff behind.
Yeah, it's
Because
funny
it was
'cause,
kiddie to me, you know.
like we would watch Toonami, but it was I don't even know if we were supposed to be watching Toonami. Like I was younger, but my dad was the one that was watching
Yeah.
it, so I would watch it with him, and I would be like, "Oh, Dragon Ball," and then later, I don't even know where I saw Bubblegum Crisis and like Eva and all that. I got really into like the mechs. I
Yeah.
feel like mechs was very big in the 90s.
Yeah. Evangelion is
Yeah,
definitely
so like our generation
awesome.
loves like cyberpunk and robots and all that stuff. Like
the
That's when
mechas.
like Gundam became a big thing, right?
Yeah.
yeah, Gundam is huge.
Endless Waltz was on
Mhm.
Toonami or whatever.
Yeah,
it was.
like we were very like Pacific Rim. I feel like is in our DNA. Like that kind of stuff.
Mhm.
Mhm.
Like that is 90s bread and butter of like our anime DNA.
all combined into
Like we mechs and kaijus is like
Yeah.
what we was normal for us.
Mhm.
It's kind of funny you think about it. Like, well, for us, it's like Voltron.
yeah.
Which Voltron, like, I never thought of it as anime, but it is.
Yeah.
You know.
Well, Voltron is an amalgam of a bunch
Yeah.
of stuff, so
Yeah. And
it's,
it also came back
Yeah.
and is huge and has a whole new resurgence.
yeah. You ever watch that 3D Voltron that they had?
Oh, in the 90s?
No, it was no that. Oh, let's
Oh.
not even talk.
No.
I'm not even gonna go there. I'm
I do remember
more
like
recent.
I'm from a swap meet family. Like we always go to swap meet, but as a kid, like me and my sisters loved Godzilla,
Yeah.
and we always bought bootleg Godzillas. So Godzilla always played a big role in our life. And then
Yeah.
like our generation, we were little kids when like the Godzilla movie, Godzilla
Mhm.
2000, and all that came out.
Oh.
Oh,
Whoa. 2000. 2000.
Yeah.
Yeah, in 2000, I was literally like 9.
Final word.
So like yes, it's not the best of the Godzilla movies, but to us that's what
No.
we had. Like to talk
This
about
was cool.
Yeah, I like because
Wait.
that was
Well, there's-
that was in Final Wars.
No, Final Wars is the best.
That-
Oh,
that-
Final
yeah.
No,
Wars.
but there's haters are gonna be like, oh,
Yeah.
that Godzilla.
Yeah.
But also like us as kids were being bombarded. Like talk about meal. Like talk about had Digimon
Yeah.
toys in the meals.
Yeah.
Godzilla, and then
Yeah.
we had like McDonald's and all these other things. And like we were very like, buy this product. It's your whole life.
Godzilla 2000 was like the one they really promoted out here, right? They had
Yeah.
it in the theater.
Yeah,
and you
it's
could-
the one where he's like tells humanity, "You guys are fucking
Yeah,
up," and takes
yeah.
off into the sunset.
Mhm.
Yeah.
I think that was done because like the Matthew Broderick one did poorly, and so they were like, "Oh, here's real Godzilla."
Yeah.
Like, you know?
Well, to the point where they renamed Godzilla.
Zilla.
Zilla.
And then since then we've had more iterations of Godzilla.
Mhm.
There will always be more Godzilla.
I love in the Final War where
Uh-huh.
he fights Zilla and he kills him. Like,
2
real
second
quick.
fight. 2 second fight. No worries. No contest. Don't even bother. I like Godzilla so much. It's hurt sometimes.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, when I grew up, I had a babysitter who had 2 movies, and one of the movies was
Only 2.
Yeah, only 2. Well, they were entertaining us. One was like some kung fu movie, 36 Ninja Kids, and the other one was Godzilla,
Yeah.
all monsters.
Yeah.
Destroy all monsters, and that was just an amalgam of everybody.
It's funny. I was telling Pete. I don't know if this also shaped me, but when DVDs came out, I was in elementary school. I think.
Yeah.
I don't know. But one of the DVDs we had was Clerks.
What?
Like I would watch Clerks all the time because I don't know who bought it. I don't know if my dad bought it.
Yeah,
But Clerks and like all Dogma and all those were in my house.
Mhm.
your
So,
dad had taste.
Yeah.
Nah.
Like I remember he would be watching it and I'd be like, "What is it?" And it was like Dante. I'd be like, "Can I watch it?" I would just hide behind the couch and be watching. But I was like, I feel like it didn't sink in, or it sunk in, but I didn't realize it till later. And I was
Yeah.
just like, "Oh shit."
Yeah.
It's funny. The first Kindergarten movie I watched was Mallrats.
Before Clerks.
Yeah, someone told me like, you need to watch this.
I love the Mallrats,
and
but I'll
then,
never see pretzels. As
yeah. And yeah, and then I always tell the story like we got a Blu-ray player,
Uh-huh.
a family Blu-ray player.
Yeah.
We went to Best Buy, not Best Buy, Blockbuster.
Oh.
And to go rent a Blu-ray, and they had like a tiny little shelf, and everyone had to pick one, and no one could decide, and we ended up renting Clerks.
So you watched it with the
I
family?
watched it with my family for the first time.
But now I'm curious of who watched Clerks first.
Mm.
You with your Blu-ray or me with the DVD?
You might have watched it first.
I may have, but
Oh.
I didn't get it.
Yeah.
Like I had no idea what it was.
Like I remember it being in the theater,
Yeah.
but never getting around to watch it there.
No, I didn't watch it till I had a VHS
Yeah.
copy myself.
Yeah. But I mean, it was very satisfying getting to watch Jay and Silent Bob reboot.
Yeah.
I feel like it's been in my life literally since I was a kid. So now it's just like, oh man,
It's like what they've been up to, you know?
yeah.
Yeah. Well, I mean, like I said, I watched it on VHS. You watched it on DVD. You watched it on Blu-ray. You know,
All the evolution.
all the evolutions.
But all from different. Like you would think I watched it on Blu-ray
Yeah.
and he saw it on DVD
Right.
and you saw it on VHS
Yeah.
or whatever. We saw it carved in the like in stone in a cave.
That would be pretty cool. You know what? Next cave I go into, I'm gonna
Carve out the Clerks.
Clerks. Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm not supposed to be here
Okay.
today.
You guys vulcanized tires. The cartoon was good. I don't know if you ever watched the Clerks cartoon. Yeah, I loved
I think
it.
it was a bonus feature
On the
on something.
no, there was a whole season of a Clerks cartoon.
Yeah.
Oh, I don't think I've seen the whole thing.
Oh.
Oh, I'm gonna.
Don't worry,
I
we'll
think
get to
I think
it.
it's in there somewhere.
That's gonna be the assignment now.
Oh, yeah. You're gonna enjoy that.
it is a Disney-fied version of Clerks,
Mm-hmm.
but in a good way.
Yeah.
Okay.
Like James and Bob aren't drug dealers. They
Firecrackers.
sell firecrackers.
That's funny.
Hey, you guys want to buy some fireworks?
Yeah.
And poor Charles Barkley.
Yeah.
My God.
It's a fun cartoon.
Yeah, that's for people who know.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's interesting, and this has all been really. I mean, I get to know you a little bit more
Yeah.
doing this. That was the best part of this whole
I
situation.
don't know if I would speak for my generation, but
No.
I think the way that we process things is just like I don't know, like you guys had it as teenagers, we had it as kids, but
Yeah.
it sunk into us on like a molecular level.
That's a trip.
So I mean, basically, like my life, I've learned from The Simpsons, which is weird to think about, but it's always been there. And
Simpsons is older than you.
Yeah, for like because of the freaking what's her name show,
Tracy Ullman.
Tracy Ullman show.
Yeah.
Yeah, so like all of us, I feel like pop culture. Not to say it wasn't big for you guys, because it was. Like,
Yeah.
In the 80s.
But we had to wait for yours. Yours is already
but
waiting.
for us,
you.
it was literally just like.
Yeah.
I feel like I picture some like Blade Runner thing where it's just like constantly scanned into our brain matrix kind of thing where it's like pop culture.
Do you think, or when you think about it, do you think Simpsons existed before you were alive?
What do you mean?
Like, it's an existential question. Like, before you were alive, do you think the Simpsons existed?
I don't know how to answer that question. Maybe not on the
Because
plane that we know it as now.
That makes sense to me. But
Yeah.
I'm just saying, it's been here the whole time you've been alive.
Yeah.
Right? So if it started before you, because when we were little kids, there was no Simpsons.
Yeah.
And Tracy Ullman was a nighttime TV show that we really didn't watch.
Yeah.
You know, but
I remember as a kid, I don't know if you remember this, they would send letters home saying we weren't allowed to wear Simpsons shirts at school.
Really?
Yeah.
It was inappropriate. And there was a lot of like pushback for that. I remember that being a big thing.
I remember someone saying, "Ay, caramba" is a bad word.
Yeah.
I mean, it's the same. It's damn it. Or I'm like, yeah, I guess they weren't wrong.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I was raised by not my parents raised me, but the TV was like the third parent in that. So.
Definitely my nanny for a while. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's weird to think, right? Like, something that existed that long.
Yeah.
You know.
That's what I'm saying. It's
like we grew up like we would come home from elementary school, eat dinner, and then it would be like Back Up in the Middle, King of the Hill, Simpsons, and that was every day.
That's your 6 to 8 o'clock block.
Yeah, so that was what I grew up with. And then late at night, at like 10 o'clock, I'd watch Seinfeld. Yeah, so all of that is in my brain.
What
From,
did you
like,
do
a
every
very
day? Read
young
comic
age.
books.
Yeah.
I love it.
Everything just ties into everything.
I just did a Jerry Seinfeld impression. Good job. I'm sorry.
That was great.
I'm sorry. No.
What was it? I saw a meme one day where like his mom was saying that she told her kid that she's older than Google, and the kid was like, "What?"
Like, do you believe Google just existed before you were born?
Yeah.
That means.
So now, thinking about it now, since you're that, and now think about the children that are younger than you. How are they gonna be when it comes to all this stuff?
Okay, it's crazy. I was telling Pete. So recently, I saw family. I have this little cousin. He's like 4. He knows everything about Ghostbusters because he streamed the movies and then watched a bunch of fan videos on YouTube. So they just like absorb everything like 100 times faster than my generation did.
Wow.
Like it's at their fingertips. But on the same thing is I feel like they don't appreciate it because they just get it.
Mm-hmm.
So I feel like, I don't know if you guys feel that way about us.
Yeah, that kind of do.
It's like that's just like the thing that's always going to be like, oh, you guys have it easy.
Like, example, when I worked at the Galaxy,
yeah.
I used to take my little brother on Saturdays. He would be the guy that sweep everything, you know? But he would read, you know? And so he was absorbing that stuff too. At the end of it all, he knew some stuff that even I didn't know because he was reading certain books I wasn't reading. You know, and that was pretty cool to me. But eventually that ended and, you know, he stopped reading.
Sometimes it happens.
Yeah, I know. But, well, I mean.
But I think that we were talking about like the generational thing is like Star Wars. Star Wars has been around so long.
That brings us all together, all of us.
That Star Wars is different for different people.
Right.
Yeah.
And you meet younger people and they're all about the prequels.
4, 5, 6.
Yeah. Little kids, they're probably into the cartoons now. And, you know.
Bad.
But we're all hyped for Obi-Wan.
Yeah.
Yes, we are.
I mean, if something brings us all together, it's Star Wars.
It's Ewan McGregor.
Oh, yeah. Ewan McGregor. He'll bring all of us together.
That trailer, when it first started, I was like, what is this? And then Duel of the Fates started playing. I'm like, I'm in.
See, you guys were old enough to appreciate it. I was young enough to appreciate it. I don't know what I'm saying. The point is, it's Star Wars. You know, it's just that's all we need to say. It's Star Wars.
Yeah, like I've watched the latest Star Wars, and that's not for me. It's
No.
it's meant for someone else. Totally.
Yeah.
You know, I'll stick to 1, 2, 3, 4,
Yeah,
5, 6.
but it'll always bring us together because they're
Yeah.
always going to
Yeah.
be connected. Like the whole Star
Whether
Wars,
you agree or
everything.
disagree.
No, yeah.
Yeah.
Well, it's such a big thing that you can like parts of it.
Everyone
Okay.
likes
Yeah.
Chewbacca.
Yeah.
He's a Wookiee.
Yeah.
What a
You know what I
Wookiee.
mean? Like the Mandalorian.
Uh-huh.
It's fucking deep in the old Star Wars tradition,
Yeah.
but it's really good.
It's Lone Wolf and Cub.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and it appeals to
Mhm.
like everyone.
Has that Western feel.
Mhm.
Then there's Rogue One,
Yeah.
which is
Yeah.
amazing.
That's a really good movie.
You know what? I went in there not thinking I was gonna like it. Believe it or not.
I feel like a lot of people did, and then everyone's like, "Holy shit!"
So
I
yeah,
remember the biggest thing I heard people were saying like, "Oh, we don't care about these characters. We know they're gonna die." I'm like, "No, you care about those characters."
I care.
Yeah, it hurt more. Like if anything, it was more devastating.
Donnie Yen when he's just it's
Yeah.
trusting the forest. I was like, this guy's gonna die.
Those people didn't have a heart because knowing they were gonna die, I was just like bawling.
Yeah, it's depressing.
The robot dies.
Yeah.
Like they were heroes, man.
The only thing I know it's a total fan service.
Mhm.
I was hoping Donnie Yen was gonna open that cane and have a fucking lightsaber inside of it.
Yeah, I think a lot of people wanted that to happen.
That would have been amazing.
I'm one with the forest. The forest is one with me.
Yeah. But I mean, that's what happens when you have like these properties that exist forever.
Yeah.
It becomes different for different people.
Yeah.
You know.
Speaking of existing forever, side story. I told Pete that when I was in high school, we had the Love and Rockets compendium, I think
Mhm.
it was, and I stole it because then they got banned.
Good job.
Yeah, and it's funny because Pete knows them.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Now the world knows that.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that I stole.
All right. Well, that's interesting, and this all led you to be here with us. So
Yes.
thank you very much for that.
I'm trapped here. Someone please help me.
Don't listen to her. Keep that chain on your ankle. Anyway,
Pick up that broom.
it's all right. All right. Next segment, we're gonna talk about Free Comic Book Day. You down?
Yes.
All right. We're back.
Okay.
And for those still listening,
Thank you.
we thank you very much for being with us. In this part, we're gonna talk about an upcoming holiday for us.
Mhm.
Free Comic Book Day.
Yes, Free Comic Book Day.
Annual nerd event of the
Mhm.
century.
Yeah, the biggest advertising gimmick of all
Yeah.
time. And what year is this?
I don't know.
Isn't it the 20th?
The first Free Comic Book Day
Yes.
was the
You saw the
weekend.
sunrise
Yeah.
for the first time.
The first Free Comic Book Day was the weekend that Spider-Man 2 came out.
Oh,
2004.
Maybe.
In 2004. Here we go. Everyone's gonna look it up right now. First one that gets it
Pete's gonna
wins.
look it up. I'm too slow. In the words of Sonic, I'm too
I said 2004,
slow.
so
2004, you're right.
Yes.
Okay,
Yeah.
so it's gonna
Cool.
be 18 years. I'm very bad
What?
at math, but yes, it is legal. It's legally an adult now. 18 years.
that's
Yeah.
On Free
yeah.
Comic Book Day.
Hey, it's legal. Hey, girls. Hey, ladies.
I have celebrated Free Comic Book Day only for the past like 11 years.
Yeah.
What was your Free Comic Book Day like?
What? My first one?
Yeah.
Or-
Well, yours and
Slang
then
in comics.
I always playing.
2004. We were at the
Yeah,
shop. Oh,
yeah.
we were there. Huh?
You know what's funny? Now I remember because you were asking about this the other day. Our first Free Comic Day sucked because Quan was like, "Oh, this isn't a thing. This isn't gonna be a big deal."
Oh, but then everyone showed up.
Yeah.
Kind of. I think no
Okay.
one knew what it was.
Yeah.
Not like now where
Yeah.
everyone expects like
Mhm.
hand me the free.
Yeah.
See, I remember going to other stores.
Yeah.
I don't remember going to like Galaxy. And I remember that Saturdays we would go to different. So we'd go up north to Pasadena. We would, yeah.
Because that's what you're supposed to do. You're supposed to go. They're supposed to give
No,
you
yeah,
one.
that's what we always did
Mhm.
Yeah.
before we got stuck working.
Where-
I'm just kidding.
Where was
Now
yours?
we're on the other side. But I would literally go to like whatever stores I could,
Uh-huh.
Comics Factory, Golden Apple, like anything, and just get all the free stuff.
The Golden Apple always had that long line though.
I feel like we always got lucky because we never waited that long,
Oh.
and we always got free Haritos.
Nice.
And like that was like we loved it as a whole family. We would dress up in costumes.
Oh,
like,
really?
God.
Go. One year they had tacos.
So over there was your first time going? When you went the first
the
Free Comic?
first time, I think it was Golden Apple.
Mm.
I don't even know how we found out about it. It was just one of those things. That's actually how We the Geeks started.
Oh,
Yeah.
Interesting.
We the Geeks, by the way, is our YouTube that we do.
Plug.
Plugging. It's my YouTube that I have with my family and friends. We do like skits, geeky skits. But it started as just a page on Facebook
Mhm.
where I would post geeky events like Free Comic Book Day because everyone would be like, "What was this event? Oh my god!" And I'd be like,
Mhm.
"Oh, here's the next one's coming up," and it became a like normal thing.
Yeah.
And that's how a bunch of people I knew found out about Free Comic Book Day because I would post about it.
See, we didn't. Well, we knew because we worked there,
Mhm.
And that,
Yeah.
besides that, I don't think we would ever.
We all
Find
know
out.
I'm better
No.
at marketing.
Yeah. Nice. Even back then.
But yeah, I've always loved Free Comic Book Day.
Yeah.
Until the first time I worked at Nostalgia Comics.
Damn.
No, it was so much fun, but it was so stressful being on the other end of it, and it made me appreciate the stores because preparing for that is like preparing for like a battle.
Mhm.
Like you got to be prepared for all kinds of people.
We all wear our uniform shirts, the Free
like
Comic Book Day
it's,
shirts.
it's you got to be organized and be ready, and it's gonna be a
Mhm.
long, tiring day.
Yep.
I remember, what was it, a couple of years ago, right? It was just crazy. It was chaos. And then it died down. And I sat down on the couch. I'm like, all right, it's like 4 o'clock, right? Like,
Yeah.
nope, like 20 minutes had gone by.
Yeah. You don't even, it's like what they say on your wedding day, like you don't remember it.
Yeah.
But you were there.
Yep.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, Free Comic Day, it's fun. Like, it could be fun.
It could be fun.
It could
Chaotic
be
fun.
crappy too. Like,
Yeah. Depending on who you spend it with,
Yeah.
and you make the most out of it.
Yeah.
As long as like people aren't jerks. That's the thing. If you're gonna go to Free Comic Book Day, be prepared to wait in the line.
Mhm.
Don't be a
Just
jerk.
Be cool about it.
Mhm.
Make friends with people in line. That's what we do. It's
Mhm.
fun. I've met so many people literally just waiting in line
Hmm.
for Free Comic Book Day.
It's very interesting too because I always thought like Free Comic Day is a way to not only bring more people in,
Mhm.
but it's a way to reward like the regulars. Like, be like, oh look, this is a thing.
Yeah.
But I mean, you notice that like our regulars don't come to Free Comic Book Day.
No,
like,
they usually don't come, and it's usually people I've never seen before.
Yeah.
But then sometimes we get
Yeah.
people that stick. It's like you're casting a wide net,
Mhm.
and then some people will be lifelong customers.
Yeah.
But
Well,
the regulars never show up.
that's why I say it's a gimmick.
Which is so funny because they'll be like, "Oh, it's Free Comic Book Day,"
Yeah.
and I'll be like, "We advertised it for 3 months."
Like ironically, I think Free Comic Book Day is not for people that read comics. Like.
But you'll get a couple
Yeah,
fishes, yeah.
Yeah, there's definitely it's like the church thing. Like, here's a free bagel. Now come talk about Jesus. Except Jesus is super big.
Yeah.
I keep saying it's the biggest gimmick. They work. They worked for a lot.
Oh, it
of
definitely
time.
works.
Oh, it works. Like I'm not even exaggerating. Like at the old store, we would sometimes make a month's worth of sales
on that day.
On that one day.
Yeah, that's also the day where like there's all these random sales and you're like, oh no, I need it now.
Yeah.
Like at Golden Apple, they would hand out like random pieces of paper and you'd open it. It would be like, you get 50% off, and someone would be like, I got 50% off. Like, it's literally just like a day of gimmicks.
Yeah, well, I mean, you can have artists and stuff like that, events and stuff like that.
I've seen what's his name? I forget his name, but he always drew in like Bongo, Dan Shaw.
Oh,
Shane Shaw? I don't remember.
Like Bongo,
like,
Simpsons
he
Bongo?
He always drew like Simpsons stuff. Have a Millhouse.
That was a fire truck making that.
I swear I did not say anything on fire. Just putting it out there right now. But yeah, they're just really excited for Free Comic Book Day. They saw our poster outside. It's gonna be May 7th, Saturday. It's gonna be my favorite thing now about that is we have a full week of just geeking out shit. People get crazy on May the 4th.
Yep.
Star Wars Day.
May the 4th
be with you. May the 5th, which is either Cinco de Mayo or another Star Wars Day. And then May the 6th is also Revenge of the Sixth, Star Wars Day. And now we have May 7th, which is Free Comic Book Day. So it's a lot.
Wow. I just want to celebrate Cinco de Mayo again.
We're gonna celebrate Cinco de Mayo by watching Doctor Strange.
Oh, and Doctor Strange comes out that week, so it's gonna be madness. Like, the geek boiling point is gonna freaking overflow.
And then after that, you're free for the rest of the year.
Until the next one. Until there's a lot coming out. So
what's coming out this year?
Free Comic Day? Yeah, typical stuff. I mean, you got. I think there's a Spider-Man Venom book. There's a prequel that with Judgment Day. It's like that X-Men Eternals event thing they're doing.
Yeah, Marvel and DC always just give you little tastes. They don't want to give away the whole kitchen.
And then we get Dark Crisis #0.
Ooh,
that's a big one.
Yeah. Again, these are all so you can start buying.
Mhm.
You know?
Yeah, but people do get excited when Gerardway released Killjoys and they released that the Zero issue.
Mhm.
I think I went to 7 different stores because not everyone had it, and I was losing my mind. And finally, I went to Comics Factory and they had it.
That's another thing. A lot of stores don't have like the
Yeah.
lower
Yeah,
indie
some
stuff.
people will have different things, so it's literally like a scavenger hunt. Like,
Well, I mean,
Yeah, we used to go to 4 stores.
yeah. Well, a little behind the scenes. The reason why that happens is because certain books are more expensive than others. Like they charge us for those books.
Mhm.
Oh,
And
yes, so support
Yeah.
your local stores
Yeah.
because Free Comic Book Day is not free for
The
them.
store,
They pay
yeah,
for the
yeah.
books. They just give them out to you for free in hopes that you will come back.
Yeah.
nice.
And so a lot of times they'll price themselves out. Like they're like, oh, that's this much, but you need to buy this many.
Yeah.
And you're just like, that's too much.
That's too much
You know.
money.
You know.
So it's mostly those indie books that are probably more
Oh, yeah.
expensive, right?
What was it? I think last year
Uh-huh.
or 2 years ago, the Street Fighter ones
Mhm.
were $1 a piece.
Why? They're smaller too.
Yeah, and I'm like, I can't.
But then people ask for it, so
Yeah.
there's like niche hardcore people for everything.
Mhm.
So
No.
if we don't get it, someone will be sad.
Yeah.
So, I mean, I can't wait.
Yeah, it'll be fun.
Should be
And
fun.
we have the bigger location this year, so like we
Yeah.
have 3 artists. I think we've never done that before.
Yeah.
We have an all
No, we have me, Adolfo,
Yeah.
adult.
and Javier,
Yeah.
and that was probably the last time.
Mhm.
Where now we got Valeria,
Uh-huh.
Seda, and Tara.
Okay.
We'll all be here selling
Saturday.
prints and maybe taking commissions. Not sure, but
Yeah, I'm not sure.
either way, they'll be here. So come meet them.
On
They all do
Saturday.
really cool art.
What day is it?
May 7th, Saturday, 2022.
Just in case you didn't hear it.
Yes, here to hear first.
First Saturday in May. That's what they always advertise it.
Yeah.
Yep.
Well, the previous years it hasn't been like that.
No, last year was
August.
and then your favorite Free Comic Book Summer.
We don't talk about free comic this summer.
The failed experiment.
We're just, and then there's isn't there the Halloween one?
That one never takes off, man.
Oh.
Like they're always trying to push them the Halloween Fest.
Halloween Fest, yes.
Halloween Fest.
They can't replicate Free Comic Book Day. I think
No.
it's not gonna happen.
But it makes sense to give them out instead of candy.
Yeah, no, it's a cool idea.
I
Yeah.
always like them because they're always
Yeah.
Halloween themed, and I love Halloween.
Yeah,
My
But-
favorite one was like a Charles Schultz one, like a Peanuts one. that
Yeah,
came
yeah.
out.
Yeah,
but they can never.
spooky Archie.
They can't replicate Free Comic Book Day, man.
Yeah.
They've tried.
Well,
I think the Small Business Saturday is local comic shop day,
Yes.
but that's totally different.
oh,
It's like you can buy variants and stuff. And,
Oh.
Yeah.
Either way, support your local comic book stores.
please and thank you.
Yeah.
You keep the doors open, the lights on. You keep me employed. Keep us fed.
It's
We
fed.
thank you.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Wow. Well, that's Free Comic Book Day for all of you people who don't know what that was.
It's a national holiday.
It's a national holiday.
It's funny, there's actually people that don't know about it, man. I tell people and they're like, that's a thing? Like,
It's been on for 20 years
yeah,
almost.
almost 20 years.
There's always gonna be new people, new blood.
Yeah.
That's why we have flyers.
Yeah.
Sorry.
We passed out so many flyers.
So come on by and we'll be here. Who knows? Maybe there'll be a live podcast going on.
Oh,
What? No.
no.
I don't know.
Or-
You know what?
Or
Maybe
a recovery podcast of the
there might be an extra
aftermath
segment.
of
Yeah.
comic book day.
Or eating pizza after.
Yes.
Just Asmir.
Yeah.
Asmir the
I think what we did
ASMR.
last year, right? We got giant pizzas. And
Yeah.
It's like, we're sitting on the couch eating pizza.
Very slowly.
Yeah. Yeah, it's a workout, man. I remember like the next day just feeling just terrible.
Like you're sore and
Yeah.
like,
It's
why
like
am I
working a
sore?
con
Yeah,
or
it
going
really
to a
is.
con. It's a lot.
Yeah. I remember yelling at people. You only
So
take
be
one.
prepared
so
now. Don't forget your sunscreen and stay hydrated.
Mm-hmm.
Please and thank you.
It's probably gonna get hot.
Yeah. I'll check the weather later.
Yeah, well, we'll see.
So that's it. That's it for Free Comic Book Day.
Mhm.
That's that's a shameless plug.
I think
Oh, yeah.
we've wrapped and shameless plugged enough.
Okie dokie. In that
Do
case,
you like comics?
now, do you like comics? Then come down. to
Boy,
Free
do I
Com-
have the book for you.
It's free, and all you gotta do is be here.
Don't be a jerk.
That's Free Comic Book Day, people.
What's the rule? What's the rule?
No snappers.
No snappers.
It's the best rule
That's
Patrick
the
ever came
rule
up.
of life.
Yeah. No snappers.
I wish those video of it.
You know that's the golden rule of the snore.
Okay.
Yeah, no
I
snappers.
thought it was if you get hurt, you get thrown in the alley.
That's the other rule. That's rule number 2.
Yeah, that's the one we threaten you with at all times.
Yes, we have fun here.
Mhm.
And that was going to wrap it up for us today. I want to thank our very special guest, Mari, for being here with us today, teaching us a little bit about being a younger geek in this day and age. I want to thank my good friend Peter here for helping me with this again. It's always a pleasure to have both of them here. Next week is near Mother's Day. We'll talk a little bit about mothers and comics and see where it goes from there. So join us next time. These guys are laughing. I have no idea why, but I'll let them go and laugh and laugh. And laugh. It's okay. Keep going. I'll cut this out. Don't worry about it.
Because I asked my parents if my mom said a fish.
No, ask her what it means. The rule
slang.
is no snappers.
Yeah, the rule is no snappers. What does it mean? No fish? You just say. I forgot what I was saying.
You were thinking that's pretty so
Yeah, thank you guys. No, Mother's Day is next week.
You're gonna do the Martha episode?
Martha. Mothers in comics.
Oh, name Martha.
So yeah, for those people, remember Free Comic Book Day this weekend on Saturday, May 7th. We're going to be here from 11 to 7. And we're going to have free books, free everything except the store. But bring your kids. Thank you very much. See you guys next time. Why? Because we're all comic-centric. Star swipe.